This year for Christmas dinner, I think I'm gonna prepare an olive oil cake with a blueberry compote and pair it with the 2014 Estates Malbec. The first thing we do is we take the pickup and the trailer and go down to the hangar and bring back maybe 25 Christmas tree tubs, you know? And put them in the garage.
That was don't tell all my secrets.
And then start, well, that's what we're here for, is to tell secrets.
No.
First off, we have dry ingredients. In this bowl, we have 2 cups of flour. We're gonna add to it half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. And then bring those dry ingredients together. 4 little ingredients in the dry bowl and a few ingredients in the wet bowl. So you got 3 eggs in here with 2 cups of sugar, and combine these well with the sugar. Okay, so that's together. Now, the main ingredient, 1 cup of olive oil. Seems like a lot of oil. This is gonna make a very dense, flavorful cake, and you will taste the olive oil in this cake. So you got the sugar, the eggs, and the olive oil together. You're gonna add 1.5 cups of milk. Bring that together. It's gonna take something to get that milk incorporated into that oil, so I wouldn't attempt this with a spoon. It's gonna take quite a while with a spoon, but with a good whisk, it comes together kind of quickly. And a teaspoon of real Mexican vanilla. When that comes together, then you need to zest an orange. And then also, you add the juice of the orange. So this, you think this is a lot of orange flavor, but this is, you know, it's pretty mild, and it doesn't seem to get too much of an orange flavor, but there is a nice hint of it in the background. So you got all the wet ingredients together, and now it's time to incorporate the dry ingredients. And this is not gonna be a very thick batter when we get it together. There, it's all in. Just got to work it around now until we get it all incorporated. You just need to bring it together. You don't need to try to get all the little lumps out of it. So I've got a 10-inch round spring form, and I have a piece of parchment paper in the bottom, and then I have buttered the sides of the pan so the cake won't stick to that. 'Tis the season, so we have a kind of like a Christmas spatula. It looks like a knitted scarf or something, but seems like when it's seasons change, my spatula supply changes as well. So there we go. Just took a minute, all come together. We'll slip this in the oven for about an hour at 350. Test it with a toothpick, make sure it comes out clean, and then we'll be ready to go. In the meantime, we'll prepare the blueberry compote so it can be ready and chilled, well, not chilled, but room temperature, so we can serve it with a warm cake. So it'll be very good. The first ingredient you need for a little blueberry compote is a little slosh of wine. So let's try that. Throw in a couple tablespoons of olive oil, a sprig of rosemary, and just kind of simmer it in that olive oil a little bit to heat it up and bring out the oils in that rosemary so that you get that rosemary flavor. Now I can smell that, it's really coming up. So we're gonna add the blueberries now. A teaspoon of vanilla. That might have been a teaspoon and a half. Calls for a little pinch of cinnamon, something like that. Maybe a 1/4 cup of honey. And then the juice of a lemon. Just let the juice run through your fingers. You can catch any seeds that fall out in your fingers. When you stir that just a little bit and bring it all together, so we're gonna let that simmer for a little bit, and then we'll get back to it. So now we're gonna remove the rosemary, because the flavor's been imparted into the berries. That's simmering away, and it's not quite thick enough for the sauce to put on the cake, so we're gonna add just a little bit of a teaspoon of cornstarch here and some water, and we're gonna add it by the teaspoonful till I get the consistency that I'd like to have. You don't want to thicken it so much that it gets the thickness you want, because when it cools off, it's going to get thicker. So I think we're about there. That kind of looks like a nice sauce. You know, and if you make a track on the back of a spoon like that, then you're probably right about the right point. Okay, we'll take that off the heat and let it just kind of steep and cool and bring the flavors all together. And then when the cake's out, we'll serve it with the cake. There we go. So we should be able to just turn that over and lift that off, which we can. And you peel the paper off, which we can. And then you take the cake platter and put it as close to the center as you possibly think you can, which was way off. We're going to show you a couple presentations of the cake. So we can use this blueberry compote right on the cake platter. If you're going to have it out and displayed for your guests prior to dinner, you could do it something like this. and then a little plain Greek yogurt right in the middle. So there, your cake's presented and ready to go. And then there's always the other presentation where you plate it and use the berry compote and the yogurt on it and serve it at the table, one plate at a time. So.
Very grateful for the opportunity to be able to gather together as family, but that opportunity to get together and sit down and share a meal.
And it takes kind of a family feeling to run an operation that goes from the ground to the glass. You know, you have all those steps in between. It takes a lot of love from everybody to make it happen.